Hello. In this video, what I'm going to take you through is my commercial hook patterns. So I've done a video on my natural fishing hook patterns, and I got asked loads of times, what hooks do you use for your commercial fishing? Because I think commercial fishing these days is slightly more popular than natural fishing. So yeah, all I'm going to do is talk you through how I simplify down my commercial hooks and the hook patterns that I choose to use. So I think with commercial fishing, what you need to do is shorten the amount of patterns you need right down to maybe 3, 4 or 5, depending on how much commercial fishing you do. So if you're like me and you fish commercials all year round, so you're fishing for carp, F1s in the summer and the spring and the autumn, and then silverfish through the winter and the autumn maybe, then you're going to need probably 4 or 5 patterns of hook. If you do just fish for carp and F1s, then sometimes just 2 patterns will do you for all your fishing. So that's what I'm going to show you today, how I've simplified my hook choice right down. So the way I've done it is I've got 3 patterns that pretty much cover me for my summer, spring and autumn, and then I've got 2 patterns that cover me for my winter fishing. So I need a hook. Being as though we're in winter, we'll start with the winter hooks. So in my winter fishing, I need a hook that's going to cover me for my feeder fishing and my pole fishing. So the hook that I choose to cover me for my feeder fishing is the SFL-B from Preston Innovations. Okay, why do I pick this hook? So this hook is very similar to a hook that I've used for years and years and years, and that hook is the B911 from Camazan. Very, very good hook, and has caught loads of fish over the years. It's a pellet shape hook with a wide gape, really sharp, but this hook was silver. With times moving on, a thing called PTFE then come to the market, and these hooks are pretty much the same as the B911, the F1 versions. They are a finer gauge wire. They aren't too fine, but they're just a nice shape and size for either commercial silverfish or F1s. So yeah, that's the hook I use for my feeder fishing and some of my pole fishing. Because of the shape, it's good for all kinds of baits, but mainly maggots, casters and pellets. So maggots, casters, pellets, and a very good shape for worms as well. Because of that wide gape, you can literally fish any bait with this hook. Okay, that's the SFL from Preston Innovations. The next hook, on them really hard days when you are going to be fishing a pole, or even some people like this shape for feeder fishing as well, it's called the Chica from VMC Mystic Match. So the Chica is it's a long shank hook, and it's got that round bend on it with a straight point. It's the very famous pattern for fishing baits like squats, bloodworm, stuff like that. And the gauge, it's only this is with a size 12 hook. It's 0.40, so 0.40 millimeters with a size 12 hook. But I tend to fish this in sizes like 20 and 18s. And what this does, it gives you far superior bait presentation, because in a size 20, the gauge works out to be around 0.23, something like that. When your bait's falling through the water, because you're fishing with small baits, you want them to fall nice and slow and act like they haven't got a hook in them. So you want to fish with the finest hook you can get away with, and the Chica allows me to do that. So that's my 2 patterns of hooks that I use for my winter fishing. So moving on then. For my carp and F1s through the summer and the spring, or anything through the summer and the spring really, you're going to need a choice of hook for banding or knotless knot, should I say. So anything that's going to be like a banded pellet or a wafter or something like that, you're going to need a hook for it. So I choose one hook and one hook only. That's the KKM-B from Preston Innovations also. So this takes over the PR36. I was using that hook for as long as I can remember, really. Again, that was a silver hook, fantastic pattern of hook. And all that happened is that hook got replaced with this hook, which has got a PTFE coating on it. So if the rain does happen to get into your hook box, for instance, the hooks aren't going to go rusty. Over the session of catching lots and lots of fish, these hooks, because they've got that PTFE coating and they are razor sharp, they're going to keep their points. So they don't tend to blunten as quick as a silver hook. You can catch 2 or 3 times as many fish on these hooks and get away with it. I've caught 100, 200 pound of fish on one hook and not had to change it. Although it is good practice to change your hooks often, these hooks do stay sharp. So anything where I've got to do a knotless knot, whether it be fishing a method feeder with hard pellets or a wafter, or fishing for F1s with a 4mm pellet, I'll use these hooks. I use them in sizes 20 all the way up to a size 12. So whether I'm fishing bomb and pellet with a size 12, great big 8mm, 11mm pellets, these will do the trick. They're a nice medium gauge wire and they are really, really strong. I've caught fish 22 pound at Barston using these hooks and they are really good. So that's what I'd use for all my banded pellet work and stuff like that. So that's the KKM-B. Okay, so we're going to need a hook for pole fishing. That's going to cover us for our carp and maybe big F1s. So the hook that does that for me is the GPM-B. So the GPM-B is a general purpose medium gauge hook from Preston Innovations. Again, same like the KKM and the SFL, it's got a PTFE coating. This PTFE coating I've just explained, it's very good. You don't want to be using these days hooks without this PTFE coating, or at least have a black nickel coating on the hooks, just something to protect them. And these hooks cover all your general purpose work really. So if you're fishing soft pellets for carp, corn, worms, paste, stuff like that, you get the point. But it's all, any of my pole fishing for carp or big F1s will be done with this hook. Okay, and then commercial fishing wouldn't be famous without them margin carp. So we're going to need a strong hook for them fish down the edge. So there's loads of hooks out there, loads of dead strong hooks, but because I'm fishing with these patterns of hooks from Preston, what you tend to find is once you find a pattern of hook, the same pattern of hook in the family will be a very good pattern of hook. It'll be made from good material, be really sharp if the others are really sharp, and it'll keep in good condition if the other ones will. So there's no point changing. So I use the XSH-B from Preston Innovations. Okay, so it's the XSH stands for extra strong, and then the H is heavy. So that's the heavy is saying it's got a heavy gauge of wire. So the SFL, because the third letter is L, it stands for light. The GPM, the M stands for medium. The KKM, the M stands for medium. And then we've got the heaviest hook in the range, which is the XSH. So this is a real bagging hook really. This is the hook that I use for catching big fish. It says that it's a heavy gauge of wire, although there is much heavier hooks sold on the market that's competing with this. I wouldn't say that this is a brute hook. Yes, it's strong and it does the job for catching fish upwards of 20 pound down the edge. If you foul, what I've found with these hooks is if you do foul hook fish, when they swim off and bottom you out, I've had these hooks straightened. So they aren't the strongest hook on the market, but if you hook a fish in the mouth, the hook's not going to bend. So if you need a hook that's strong and reliable, yeah, these will do the trick. However, the hook will bend in certain circumstances. That's what I found anyway, but I'm not going to harp on too much. That's 5 hooks that cover all of my commercial fishing. Just go out, have a look at them, but if you found a hook for you that does the trick, stick with it. I'm just giving you my opinion on these hooks, what worked for me. So thanks for watching. See you on the next one.